Yikes, feds release unedited Epstein jail cell footage. Wait, with minutes deleted? No way, dude.
What's up, guys? It's Penny. Am I allowed to be nostalgic for just a few months ago? When
Oh, that's so cool, Oxide. Like, let me know what I need. Can you let me know what I need?
Trump administration was going to lock up all of the criminal predators inside of the Epstein
But in this
child
case, in
trafficking
Epstein's
ring?
case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals
So many.
that were hidden
They were hidden.
and kept
Hidden.
secret.
Yeah, and then aren't they saying that there's nothing? Like,
held
what's going
accountable.
on?
Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now.
Are they freaking doing the Kraken shit again? Do you guys remember the Kraken? They're like, okay, guys, well, you know what? It's only like a couple more weeks, and we're gonna release the Kraken, and then the fucking Kraken never came out. Oh, we're gonna release the Kraken, and then like a week later, yeah, guys, it's almost here. The Kraken is almost here. In like 2 days, the Kraken's gonna be released. They're like, guys, there's this fucking like there's these accounts on X where that's all they do is they say like, oh my god, the biggest thing just dropped about aliens. The aliens are real, guys, and we're all gonna find out about it in just 3 more days. The information will drop. Are you prepared? And then like on the second day, are you guys ready for 2 days from now? Gonna be huge. Make sure you like. And then they just do this, and then nothing happens every single fucking time.
Through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability.
Now it's time for accountability. For
Man, the thing is though, is like, dude, I feel like, man, like I trust Bongino. So it's like, what is happening? What is happening, man? You know, like, it's like there's some kind of play going on, or
them, all of the guilty people who Jeffrey Epstein, who
what did they do? Like he came in and they fucking turned him into like they put a freaking yerk in his ear or something. Like
here has been
He's a yerk now?
convicted federally and in statewide child predator and trafficking charges, along with, of course, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted on federal child trafficking charges.
Sorry, that's probably a really boomer reference. You guys probably don't know what I'm talking about.
So they did traffic children, according to federal documents, to tens of thousands. But you know what? Funny thing happened on the way to the release of all this information of them. Turns out them didn't exist at all. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein doesn't exist. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein...
So what, they were just lying all along? So they were lying before?
Killing himself. He just did that for fun. I mean, he was an innocent man. And this is what innocent men do.
Yeah.
They kill themselves in federal law. DOJ FBI conclude Epstein had no client list, never blackmailed anyone, even though we literally know that he did. We have it on the record. We know who Bill Gates is. We know who Prince Andrew is. And that he died by suicide because innocent people.
Here's the thing. You're telling me all of this suspicious stuff that happened? You're telling me that all of it is not real? You're talking about how like the survivors like fucking mysteriously dying that has nothing to do with anything? So you're telling me that this was all a misunderstanding? Oh man. If you want to know why people become conspiracy theorists, it's because they do shit like this. That's why. You want to complain, like the government and, you know, the powers that be want to complain, oh, everybody is a conspiracy theorist. Well, why? Why is that? It's because you guys fucking lie all the time and you make shit up and you sound sus as hell. Like, you guys need to get better at fucking Among Us or something. They need to have required training where, like, in the government, they, like, all have to, like learn how to play Among Us and be, like, really good at it because they fucking suck.
People kill themselves right before being exonerated. That's what happens, gentlemen. And now the case is closed. You know, and the feds...
That's true. AOC did play Among Us. That's true. That's true, Shy.
They gave up all the evidence. MAGA, why are you so mad? MAGA voices stunned by Trump administration debunking Epstein theories. Well, did they, though? It's very interesting here. So the DOJ released this paperwork, effectively, saying, you know what?
Honestly, I'm going to be mad. I'm actually going to be really mad if this is like some kind of like misdirection play in order to get more. Like, I'm going to be so fucking mad. Like, they should just fucking tell us already. Like, this is so stupid.
Found that there's nothing here. Jeffrey Epstein.
Nobody's going to believe this.
Never existed. His sex trafficking island that you can go visit never existed. Prince Andrew doesn't exist. None of the victims exist at all either. Okay.
Yeah, you mean like all of the tapes that they had that were like labeled, the ones that like mysteriously like nobody knows where they are? When like they found out about the Jeffrey Epstein thing and like a bunch of people like went in there before like unrecorded.
Killed himself after not existing.
It's just so annoying.
And then, and by the way, this is real. Okay, many people were speculating maybe this is a lie. You know, maybe this was something that was leaked to left-wing media in order to embarrass the Trump administration. Nope, it's right here. And this was real. This is the footage of the cell block exterior for Jeffrey Epstein's cell block.
Okay.
The single most secure cell block in the entire Fed prison, Manhattan. This is a very secure facility. We've had Rudy Giuliani on the show to talk about it. This would be
so.
A really
What's the
tough one to break out
layout?
of.
Like, what's the layout of this place? Like, where's the cell?
Frankly. But would it be hard to break into? Well, there are lots of cameras. Presumably, if you were to break in, let's say, like a kill squad to go, like, murder Jeffrey Epstein in his cell, that's behind that door right there. I mean, what you're seeing right here is justice.gov video.
So wait,
of the actual cell block.
Where's his cell, though? If this is a cell block, this isn't his cell, though, right? That's not his cell. Yeah, so, like, okay, even looking at this, look at how many blind spots there are. Like, this entire area, like, down here, all blind spot. This entire area up here, all blind spot. This entire area back here, blind. How does this prove anything?
It'd be hard because the video cameras are there. There's only one way in or out of the cell block. There is no way to get in. No, there's no other way to get into this cell block to go kill Epstein. So, you know, this would be the one place that you'd get in and out. And there obviously is no one going in.
Closed room, my ass. Look at this thing.
We've given you the entire 11-hour video when Jeffrey Epstein went to sleep, and then it was when he was found dead in his cell. Except, of course, for the 1 minute that was obviously cut out.
But, like, is that actually... Wait, we don't know. Is this his cell? So it changes. If this is actually his cell, it changes things. Because then it becomes a lot harder for, like, right? Because this is all visible. So... what is all this shit, by the way? Like, what is this? Right? Like, but anyway, like, if this isn't his door, then what the fuck does this prove? I can't see anything else. Like, is this the entrance? Is this the entryway? That doesn't prove anything if this is the entryway. Because there's still other people in here.
When Jeffrey Epstein went to sleep, and then it was when he was found dead in his cell.
This doesn't prove anything. What the fuck?
Except, of course, for the 1 minute. Obviously cut out, like clearly cut out of the video, which is insane. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the 1 minute.
Yeah, the existence
from
the existence of the 1 minute gap is perfect time. That's like enough. That's enough cloaked in shadows to like do anything basically. 1 minute is long enough to like sneak anyone in. You could sneak in you can sneak it with 1 minute. You could sneak in a ton of people, kill them, and get out in that amount of time. Like 1 minute, like.
And from 11:58 to midnight, there's a full minute right around the midnight hour. That's just gone. And then the camera seems to have moved.
Okay, let's see it.
Here is the clip directly from the live feed.
Okay.
Okay, that was allegedly live during Jeffrey Epstein's killing himself because he's so innocent. Where the minute's just missing. See it here? Oh, there it goes.
Uh-oh.
So I got a buddy who works at this company who used to do a ton of installation of security cameras. The security cameras shouldn't move, even if you did clip a minute out. Why would the security cameras?
Wait, did it move? Hold on, it actually moved.
Move. Who used to see it here? Oh, where the minute's just missing.
Okay.
See it here? Oh, there.
Wait,
missing.
Wait, it didn't really move though. It's like.
See it here? Oh, where the minute's just missing. See it here? Oh, where the
no, it didn't move. The resolution changed. Yeah, the resolution changed.
See it here?
What the fuck is this? What? Dude, this is bullshit, dude. This is so bullshit.
There it goes. So I got a buddy who works at this company who used to do a ton of installation of security cameras. The security cameras shouldn't move, even if you did clip a minute out. Why would the security cameras move? Security cameras, by their very nature, are to be very stable and inaccessible to someone trying to tamper with them. So
yep, exactly.
Why the F?
Like they should be in like a fucking like enclosed thing, right?
Did the frame move or distort? Either the camera moved or the lens has been moved. And where's the minute? I can just do this all.
They definitely don't want to reveal the list. Too many celebrities, politicians, and princes on there that would destabilize global markets. It makes sense that they want it covered up.
That's true. I kind of agree with you there. But yeah, there's like so many like people on the list that like it's so obvious that they would want to hide it and be like it's not there. They would want to bury it. Okay, I can see it, guys. So here's like the path I can see. If you were Dan Bongino, right, and I told you, so like, you know, this isn't what I would do, but I can see a person doing this, right? Say you're a person who's like, yeah, I really want the Epstein files, but then the person told you, okay, listen, like if you found out what the Epstein files were, the world's gonna end. Like literally, like that would cause like a nuclear war. Then you might be a little bit more hesitant. I think like if you were a good person, you could be convinced to lie in a case like that, right? Me personally, I think justice should still be done. I don't give a fuck, right? Like, personally, I'm like, no, they fucking are fucking around, and I don't want this. I don't want this cloak and dagger shit from my own government who's supposed to serve me. You know what I mean? But I can see people, like, if the world relies on injustice, end it. Yeah, man. I'm on team let justice be done though the heavens fall. I'm on that team. But like, I think that like that would be a case that you could imagine a good person. Cause like, I do trust that Dan Bongino is a good person. But like, if you were faced with a crazy decision of like, you have to bullshit in order to protect, the other thing too is they could have gotten to his family, right? Like if you were Dan Bongino and they were like, okay, listen, man, like you're gonna lie or your family is fucking dead and there's nothing you can do about it. And like, even if like we don't get away with it, your family is still dead at the end of this, right? Like even if we get exposed, doesn't matter, because what do you care more about, this being exposed or your family being dead? And like, if I were in that position, if somebody told me like, listen, Leaflit, you're gonna have to lie about the Jeffrey Epstein things. Like, here's the log. This is all the people on it. You gotta say nothing happened or we kill your mom. And like, even if you expose us and we get in trouble and like we get collateral, doesn't matter because your mom is still dead. So there is a switch that we have that we press that button and someone kills your mom right now. And you either need to get alongside this or your mom is dead. I probably would choose my mom, to be honest. I'm just being real. Like I would choose my mom in that case. So like, if that's another thing I could imagine, like Dan Bongino would be in that position, you know? That's rough, man. I don't know. That would be really rough. Who says that's easy? I'll just wait. I mean, yeah, you just dead man switch yourself, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't know, but like, see, it can go, see, that's kind of different, like with me and my mom, but like, say Don Bongino, right? It can go forever, right? It could be like, okay, well, next, even if your wife is dead, next it's your grandchildren, next it's your grandchildren's children, right? And like, it's like, they could just keep going, right? Still, this is a huge stretch. Well, it's not though, right? Like you have to understand, like if you're considering, right, it's not really a stretch though. You have to consider like these people are the most powerful people in the world, right? Just in terms of like raw political like power. And you also have to understand like a lot of these people are fucked up, right? So I don't see how it's a huge stretch. Like how would it be? You think the most powerful people in the world wouldn't have access to like some way to kill people? Like you don't think that they could pay somebody to kill like anyone they want? Yeah, like it's not that Dan is dumb. Is why take the job if he knows he can't do what he wants? That's a good point. That is a good point, Julio. But it is possible that like he got himself into a position where he had no idea how deep the rabbit hole went, right? Like there's a bunch of like ways that like you could write this, right? Like if I were the writer of this story, there's so many ways I could write a character like Dan Bongino, who is a good guy, and I could twist him into forcing him to do what I want. There's many ways I could do that, right? Yeah. Anyway.
All day. I'll play it for you again and again and again. There's the minute. Go talk to anybody who does special forces and ask how quickly could you breach a door? Could you do it in a minute? 5 seconds.
Oh, by the way, here's another thing that's kind of like a little bit of a thing is like if there's already a time cut in there, that already puts, okay, so if there's a cut in here, a cut and a resolution change, that already puts into question the entire footage. So like the whole 1 minute thing is like kind of it's like a red herring at this point, right? The 1 minute is no longer reliable. So like this could have been like hours basically at this point, right? Like it might as well have been like not a minute left. It could be any amount of time.
How quickly could you get?
She was drilling. She drilled on me.
The first piece of evidence that just really doesn't lock in the official narrative. The official narrative is that we just gave you all of the video, but no, you didn't, in fact. And it's crazy because it's our own federal government, and you have to assume that there are really smart people in charge of this stuff, looking through this stuff.
Yeah, so like, how did they miss that? Like, did they think that nobody would miss that? Like, what's going on? You know, like, what are they doing?
There it is.
You sent me something relevant? Using advanced cryptography and artificial intelligence, we were able to decode the cut minute. Hillary Clinton, very sad to hear of Jeff Epstein's isekai. Oh shit, that's happening tomorrow. Oh man, the memes, dude. Just to clarify for the lawyers, this was AI and I didn't say it.
Is this like designed in order to humiliate the Trump administration? I mean, at some point you have to start asking yourself, like, Is this designed in order to damage the administration? I'm telling you, I don't know the answer.
No, okay. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. So Benny is saying, is this designed to hurt the administration? Well, here's the thing: is if it was, then why wouldn't Dan Bongino or somebody say like, hey, there's a minute missing? Unless they had like somebody review it and then be like, they fucked up on purpose. That's a possibility, I suppose. That is like the one way that would be the case, is like he didn't actually see it himself. But like, why wouldn't you see it yourself? Maybe he's too busy? But then why wouldn't you put someone you trust in charge of it? Man, what the fuck is going on?
Nothing to see here. Literally, somebody just made sure of it.
The administration is probably in on it, dude. And if they are, fuck them. And I've been saying this the whole time, because like a lot of people like kind of left people have been like, well, Leaflit, like, what do you think about this, huh? What do you think about this? Kind of sus, huh? I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? If they did it, then fuck them. If Trump is involved in this, then fuck them. Like, how hard is that? My beliefs on this are consistent. I don't give a shit who did it. Whoever did it, fuck them. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Dan Bongino. I don't care who it is. Like, fuck them if they did it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that's so hard to break down in your mind.
U.S. senators on saying, hey, what the hell is going on here? Why is there 1 minute missing from the Epstein security camera footage?
It was Hara Urara? Okay, now that's a little too far, bro. Okay, that's a little too far, Julio. Get the fuck out of here.
Footage.
You leave her out of this. You leave her out of this.
Count. 1 minute mysteriously missing from the newly released Epstein jail footage. DOJ has been caught cutting a full 60 seconds from the newly released 10
Again, guys, that's 60 seconds. That 60 seconds is an absolute red herring, because the fact that anything was cut at all, or that there's an anomaly in the tape, already discredits the entire thing. So don't get too caught up in the 60 seconds thing, because that's probably something that they want to get you caught up in, and they're going to do some kind of shit. Oh, is it even possible to like walk down there in 60 seconds and do anything? No, the entire tape is already invalid because of this.
Our Epstein surveillance footage, viewers are tracking and noticed a clean jump. Then, of course, a video distortion there. That's strange. Again, watch. There it goes. Not the same shot. Again, it wouldn't be as obvious if the video didn't
So here's like one thing that they're... Okay, I'm just going to guess that they're going to say this. So if you look at the timing, right, this kind of makes sense if you think about it. So it's 11:58, right? So it's going to go into... I don't know if this is noon or it's PM. So this is going into midnight, into a new day. So it is 100% possible, right, that this camera is set up to do this, as in at exactly 11:59, right? So this is a possibility.
Sure.
At exactly 11:59, the camera resets itself, because like maybe like it has to like, you know, like save data or something like that. It has to like, there's possibly something that happens here where the camera has to reset itself, and that would explain kind of like the, like it booting up and having like a slightly different picture. That makes sense. But here's the thing, that still leaves a gap in which something could have happened. That 1 minute, like you would have to assume that the people trying to kill Epstein would know about that 1 minute gap, right? Why wouldn't they know about that? Why wouldn't they be like, okay, that's the time that we're going to go in, because we know exactly at this time, everyone synchronize your watches. We know that exactly this time that the camera goes down to like reboot, and we know it's going to reboot for 1 minute. So that this is another explanation, right? Like you would have to assume that, like, you know, again, we're talking about the most powerful people in the world, okay? Like, how would they not have people that would have this kind of operational competence, right?
Can't explain it enough. Like, that's the, if this was a clean cut, then the video wouldn't be distorted at all. Someone was tampering with the cameras, perhaps inside of the prison when this was filmed, and then also potentially with the footage afterwards.
No, so it's actually possible for them to do this without anyone scrubbing the footage. Again, the 1 minute, right? So and let's even assume like further than this, right? Let's say that they can't kill him in 1 minute. Like I said, like there's so many ways out of this. There's so many, like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of a closed room enjoyer, you know, and I feel like there's so many ways out of this closed room. You can basically, another way that you could do it, right, is that right at that 1 minute, say let's assume like, oh, well, it takes longer than 1 minute to assassinate Epstein. And this is for sure, like we can say it in red that this is the actual footage, right? It does reboot at this time, but still 1 minute's not enough time to kill Epstein. Well, okay, well, you sneak someone in there on this reset and you wait for the next reset to exfil them. Do you think that's like impossible? Like, look at this room. You telling me there's nowhere in here that a person could hide for 24 hours and then exfil on the next time that this thing happens?
Why is there an entire minute?
Why sneak anyone in just bribe the guards? Yeah, but they need the footage, right? Clockwork Gearhead, they need the footage to be like, it's impossible for the guards to have been like, they're trying to set up a closed room. That's the whole premise. The entire premise of them saying that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, the entire premise is that it's a closed room. That's why they're showing us this, right? Trying to convince us that it's a closed room, but it's not.
Answer this, and it's a real problem for the Trump administration. Peter Doocy was on tap in order to ask the questions. Hey, like, why did you say that this was on Pam Bondi's desk when it actually...
That's their proof. Their proof that Epstein... The proof that they're giving us that Epstein isekai himself is that nobody could have done it. That's it. That's their proof.
Wasn't on Pam Bondi's desk. It seems to be like a real problem for the administration. Carolyn Levitt had this answer about an hour ago.
Caroline, the DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration.
But guys, wait, but guys, illegal immigrants, we got them.
And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
Guys, we investigated it, and we investigated ourselves, and nothing happened. Oh my God, dude.
I disagree.
Me too, Benny.
That's okay. You're never going to disagree. You're never going to agree with somebody 100% of the time.
No, this is bullshit, Benny. Don't let them off the hook.
And I don't have to look too far, actually, because I already found it. Whatever you think about Tulsi Gabbard and the JFK files, let me tell you what, because we know, we have direct sources. Tulsi Gabbard released every single document.
The only outcomes for Pam, Cash, and the rest is either they lied in February or they covered this up in July. Both answers are worse. Yeah, this is awful. Yeah, I agree. I'm in the classes. I don't know, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see, but like, yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Except for a few that I think are still in limbo, but they're actively going to be released that they had on JFK. There's a ton of embarrassing stuff in there. There's stuff that the government didn't want you to know about Operation Mongoose, about a ton of different connections. There's virtually zero redactions. And you know what happened when they released all of the JFK files? They just said, you know what? Wow. Okay. That's that. There it is. I might not like it. I might not like that there's no smoking gun, but I mean, you sweet summer child, you really think there's going to be a smoking gun? It's going to be a very murky constellation that you can put it all together. And then we did. And it was pretty obvious what was happening with JFK and who he had pissed off and who was gunning for him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you can do here. You should just release everything. Release every single photo, every video, I agree. Obviously, I'm not saying release CP. I'm not saying release predation materials. Nobody's asking for more of that ever. What I'm saying is there's so much inside of the Epstein world that would just show us that you're acting in good faith, right? Here's all these passports that he had. Here's this bag of diamonds. We know he had that. Here's a bunch of hard drives that didn't have that. Here's a bunch of emails and text messages. Here's who he was texting. Here's videos and photos of inside of his mansions and ranches and islands. This is all that we have. This is what we got when we raided him because we know.
You know, guys, you know what they need to do? They need to hire that Ali Law guy to like get in there and get the shit, you know? That guy's good into getting into places he's not supposed to be with the high vis vest, you know? That's what they need to do.
We rated him, right? So this is what we have. There's all the information. A lot of it's going to be pretty boring, but you can see it and then you can decide for yourself. And maybe the internet will do the job. You know, the internet will do the work for you. They'll go through and find maybe there's the little things that we missed. They clearly missed a minute there, but it's not helping their case by releasing footage that has missing minutes in it. That's the point. The point was that there was no missing footage, and it is missing. It's insane.
It is, yes. Them using that footage as proof of a closed room is ridiculous.
This is why we need a formal DOJ task force on the Epstein affair, so that these types of questions can be answered quickly, directly, and officially. Set up the DOJ Epstein Transparency Task Force for 6 months. Set aside an hour every Friday for the public to ask, given where we are now. Okay, and where we are now is not a better place than where we were 6 months
bullshit.
ago. Sadly. There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, send up an independent corrupt panel. Yeah, exactly. See, now that this happened, like nobody's gonna trust them on anything, right? Like it's over. Like the trust is gone, basically.
Wow. I mean, really,
Bro, I would just blame Biden for confirming it. Even if it's a lie, it's easy that there's no reason to fumble this hard. There's no logical reason to not say that crooked Biden, DOJ scrubbed the files. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, they would need proof of that, right? Sketch therapy life. So yeah.
did was take the DOJ, the FBI, that people have zero faith in.
This is depressing.
And
Play this
before Cash, Pam, or Bongino got there, and like reinforce that you should have zero faith, right? In this, it's a nightmare, ladies and gentlemen. It's a nightmare, and I think it's deep state sabotage.
You can't prove a negative. Who can prove they didn't scrub it?
I do.
Yeah, but like again, like that's gonna be like it's all it would be is like shifting the blame, but it doesn't actually prove anything, right?
I think they're laughing all the way, like trying to make Trump and his administration look stupid.
Uncle Ted had a
I
point.
want Trump and his administration to be smarter on this and like to be more locked in. I think that's why they should do this. Release it all. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.
Yeah, it's like the only thing I can think of is that they have something like they're basically ransoming the people. This is like a deep conspiracy theory that they're ransoming the people. They're ransoming the people, and the people are basically like, okay, well, we're gonna make it look ridiculous, right? Like kind of like what John Softpaw said. Maybe it's an attempt to make it so obvious it's bullshit. So like again, you could write a scenario in which they're hostage to something, and their only way out was basically to release something so ridiculously wrong that like people are gonna be like, wait, that can't be the case. So then it would basically demand someone else to look into it, right? That's a possibility. That's the fun thing about, by the way, this is a fun thing about being a DM, like a tabletop DM, is like, I'm always thinking of stuff like this. Like, okay, if I were the DM, how would I write this? If I were the DM and I needed Epstein to be assassinated, and I needed like the kingdom to basically say that, like, how would I set this up to be bullshit? Right? And like, how would I set it up so that this person who is a good person is forced to do something evil? Right? I think about this all the time because I DM tabletop, right? Like, so it's like I look at the entire thing as a fucking game board, right?